Hi, everybody. Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. Narcissistic gaslighting, making you feel crazy. If you've been in any kind of relationship with a narcissist, you've no doubt experienced the crazy making games referred to as gaslighting. Feel free to leave your craziest gaslighting story in the comments below. I try to respond to all your comments. I can't always get to them all, and sometimes they don't even pop up for me until I see them months later. But a wonderful community has developed around these issues, and I love the support you're giving each other. So please keep that going. It's such a blessing to see that. The term originated from a play written in 1938 called Gaslight. It was made into movies in 1940 and 44. It was a story about a husband's attempts to convince his wife that she was insane by manipulating things in their home, such as turning the gas lights brighter and dimmer, and then insisting that the lights were all the same. Over time, he undermines her perceptions, questions her memories, makes her think she is delusional, and even convinces others she's going crazy. The term gaslighting has been used since the 1960s to describe efforts to manipulate someone's perception of reality. The main intention of the victimizer is to target the victim's mental equilibrium, self-confidence, and self-esteem. It's a dangerous form of abuse because it undermines the mental stability of the victim, who becomes depressed, withdrawn, and totally dependent on the abuser for their sense of reality. This psychological manipulation is when a person uses denial, misdirection, contradiction, and outright lying to make another person question their own memory, perception, and sanity. In addition, gaslighting destabilizes the victim, making them more dependent on the abuser as their sense of self and sanity are eroded. This tends to intensify the trauma bonding and the isolation. And this isolation continues to reinforce the only input that you have, which is from your gaslighting abuser. The cycle is very hard to break. Let's drill down into this a little bit. Typically, gaslighting consists of the following. 1. Denial of reality. The shocking, outright denials that an abuser can tell are so outrageous, the victim often thinks they have to be true because who could tell such outrageous lies? The answer is a narcissist or a sociopath can and will tell you anything they want to control and manipulate you. They will rage and say, "I'm not angry." They'll sexually assault, and say, "That never happened. What are you talking about?" They will take what's yours, flirt with your best friend, create chaos in your life, and then just flat deny it all. This makes the victim feel they're not perceiving things accurately and question their own sense of reality. Number 2, staging of bizarre events and denying them. This again can seem so unbelievable that the victim doesn't believe what's happening. Sometimes the victim will start to figure out what's going on and try to check reality with family and friends, and family and friends won't believe such outrageousness is possible, so they'll unintentionally add to the gaslighting. Number 3, blame shifting and triangulating others. This is when someone does something terrible and quickly shifts the entire story to implicate someone else. This happens in workplaces and families where there's a narcissist who will never take responsibility for their wrongdoing, and they continually pin things on others. They keep the stories and vicious gossip focused on others to cover their bad acts, and they will even fabricate an elaborate tale to take someone else down rather than own up to what they've been up to. If you're the truth teller in the family or the hardworking, honest person in the workplace, you will be their prime target. Often I've had a client who takes on a sense of, well, there must be something wrong with me that I'm always their victim. But truly, it's only that you are the only one they need to take down in order to keep their stories intact. They're often so skilled at weaving these stories, they're hard to refute and pin down, and many go on for years, causing estrangement and rifts that have no substance whatsoever except the lies and gaslighting of the narcissist. Number 4, there's often a tiny shred of truth to anchor the rest of the garbage, and they will hammer at that tiny shred so you can't pin down or refute the rest of the story. Number 5, I think the most insidious aspect of gaslighting is the personal undermining the abuser uses. They don't just tell lies or manipulate facts into confusing, twisted stories that make your brain short circuit, but they surround all of this with digs that erode your very sense of self and sanity. They can abuse and assault and verbally rage at you or say the most hurtful things and then turn around and say, You always take everything so seriously. You're so sensitive. That wasn't about you. Are you crazy? That's not what happened. That's just bizarre. How could you even think that? You're really getting paranoid. And then they will go for the jugular to really throw you off base. This is really about your insecurities, your lack of trust, your history of hating men or women because your father, mother abused you, your mistrust of men and women because your father or mother abandoned you. Why do you always assume the worst in me? I love you so much, and yet you just can't get over your past and realize I love you and you can trust me. This is all about your friends and family poisoning you against me. They don't want us to be happy and they can't see what I live with. You're so dramatic all the time. Of course, I blow up sometimes. I have to go out and get drunk sometimes. You're impossible to live with. I could have cheated, but I didn't yet. I wouldn't have been so mad if you hadn't made me mad, and you know what upsets me, so you must have wanted that fight. I didn't hurt you. You fell into that wall on your own to make everyone feel sorry for you. And then here comes the hook and reel to bring you back into the control. I've tried. Maybe this isn't going to work. If you can't trust me, we can't make this work. Maybe you're just too unstable to be in a healthy relationship. Maybe because of your past abuse and your issues, you're too insecure. You know you're so unstable, you can't make it without me. And you know no one is going to put up with you or take care of you like I have. How are you ever going to take care of yourself? You can't even keep anything straight in your own head. You know your family and friends have it in for me. If you want to make this work, you really need to stay away from them. They don't know what I have to put up with anyway. I'm leaving if you don't get it together. Here are some other gaslighting examples from comments from this channel. Every call on the phone ran the gamut from rage to anger to kindness to false promises to accusations about how everything about me was wrong, how my thinking was wrong, how my feelings were wrong and stupid, and how much she loved me, and how I am making bad judgment calls, how stupid I am, how I never truly really did love her, because if I did love her, then her behavior, according to her, shouldn't bother me as much as it does. Another comment, I've noticed that all narcissists in my life have the same trait of remembering everything you said and then using it against you in their court of law. Of course, they are judge, jury, and executioner in their court. They will use totally innocent or off-the-cuff remarks and then twist it to use it against you at a later date. If you say, oh, I so wanted to take the kids on vacation, but it just didn't work out, they turn it into, well, you were too cheap to take the kids. You obviously hate them. Admitting that you have a tough day or made any type of mistake is later twisted into amplifying those mistakes into something that never was. Even joyful things get twisted and pulled into their court of law. And number 6, finally, the art of weaving together all of these denials, lies, stories, blame shifting, and undermining is the dance that draws you closer and distances, and it's the perfect recipe for destabilizing the victim mentally and emotionally, and creating dependence. It's crucial we see the true depth and breadth of this dynamic and recognize the intense impact this has on a person's sense of self, their sense of internal stability, and even their sense of sanity. It often takes a great deal of time in therapy to unravel all this and help a person truly separate from the abuser, emotionally as well as physically, and to get regrounded in their sense of self and sanity. If you've been through this, it's so crucial to get free of that person doing it to you. If you continue to take this abuse, you will not be able to unravel it all and get back to a sense of stability and sanity. When you do get free, work through the entire depth of the lies and gaslighting you've experienced. Journal it out and sort it through thoroughly, preferably with a therapist. Again, please feel free to share your craziest gaslighting stories in the comments below. And again, please keep up this loving, supportive community you're creating. It's priceless, and I just really cherish it. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and you never know when something that you share might help someone who's struggling. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.